Hey there guys, and welcome back to the Botanic Jungle. So I have this overgrown pot of string of hearts with a couple of other things that seem to have jumped in there. Um, I don't like this like this. I really would like one of those nice, lush, hanging pots of the string of hearts like you see on Instagram and Facebook and on the YouTube. And I would like to create my own. So I would like to invite you to come along with me on the journey of repotting this super lush pot of string of hearts. And yeah, come along for the ride. I'll be potting it in 3 different mediums so we can see exactly how well the string of hearts does in certain potting mediums. So we'll be using sphagnum moss, a coco peat and perlite mix, and an aroid mix that I use for all of my other aroid plants. So yeah, let's get started. First, what I'm going to do, I'm not going to disturb the what looks like little daisy here. I'm going to leave that in there because I actually love this daisy. I think from memory, I think it's called something like a paper daisy. And then there's a wax plant, which this was at my partner's grandmother's house, and in her property, she seems to get quite a few of these wax plants. I'm assuming birds are just picking up seeds and dropping them wherever they so please. So what I'm going to do is I have my pruners. I've made sure I've sterilized these first. I also have these very small pots. These are just for now until I can make this lush, and then I'll move it into a full-sized pot that I want it in. What I've done with these as well, I've gone and used a soldering iron and just poked some holes in the bottom so I have free draining soil or mix, because I don't want the mix to be super wet, because then we'll get root rot and the nodes on the string of hearts will just rot. So yeah, let's get started. I have my 3 mixes here. I've got my aroid mix. I'll take the lid off and show you. So we have our aroid mix. I've used some eucalyptus mulch in that, just because that's what's easy for me at the moment. My local hardware doesn't have all the fancy different mixes, and I wanted to get this video done, so I didn't have time to order orchid bark, which I would usually use. Then we have our coco peat perlite mix, and then I've gone ahead and moistened my sphagnum moss already. I've only got a little bit left. I need to go and buy some more. But then we've got our sphagnum moss. So yeah, what I'm going to do is, to start with, move these off my lounge so I don't knock them over. And I'm going to get some of the chain of hearts out. What I'm going to try and do, because there is a lot of like waste and leaf litter and things like that, is I'm going to find these pieces that you can see here coming off the side, and I'm going to narrow those down to exactly where they're growing so I can get those. I can't remember if these grow from tubers or from a corm. I don't think it's a corm, and I don't think it's a tuber. It's like a what's it called? It's a like a root ball on the stem of the plant. So what I'm going to do, I'm just following this branch, you could call it, down into the soil. Okay, I think I found where that's growing. Just using my finger to loosen the soil around that spot, because if you've got a string of hearts, you will know that the I'm going to call them tubers, can get quite large. They almost look like this one here. Makes me giggle. Looks like a potato, as you can see. Just like a potato. If you see me looking over here, I'm looking at my monitor and I keep getting distracted between the two. So I thought that was going to be a lot longer. That's only just the start. Every time I say that, I think of that song from the... Oh, there we go. So I'm actually, you know what? I must have snapped that. I've snapped the stem, which that's okay because I do have 2 more of those little spuds or tubers on the end of that. Now, what I'm going to do, because I do want to make a number of large, lush pieces, like pots, I'm going to find as many of these little nodes or tubers or potatoes. They're not potatoes, but you know what I mean. And I'm just going to gently sort of play around with it and see what we can get out of it. The good thing about a string of hearts is it is a surface growing plant. So a lot of these, I'm just trying to loosen these up so I can actually show you. Because I honestly think I could get most of this plant out just by, as you can see there, we have tubers everywhere, which is great for me. All right. So what I'm going to do quickly is I'm going to get my little, all they are cups, plastic cups, cut down. And what I'm going to do, I'm just going to get some of my aroid mix, and I'm going to put some in the little pot. I'm going to try not to get too much of the chunky mix in there, just because they are very small pots. I'm going to do 2 of each just for science. Just for science, there we go. All right, that was my aroid mix. So my aroid mix is consisting of normally orchid bark, today yuki bark, a little bit of, or actually a lot of bit of perlite, vermiculite, horticultural charcoal. What else do I put in it? Oh, and coco peat. So I found that the coco peat is quite well treated. So I don't personally have a lot of rot issues with my coco peat. And I just purchased that at my local Bunnings. So yeah. All right, now I'm going to fill this one with my perlite coco peat mix. These 2, sorry, not this one. So what I'm going to do as well, after I've potted these up, I am going to put them in a well-lit space within my house. Sadly, I don't actually have a kitchen window. I just have well, I'm very fortunate actually, because I have a very large window just here. And it spans the whole wall in our living area. So what I'll do, I'll place these on a shelf in my living area, and they'll just live there. Making sure as well, especially if you're using sphagnum moss, make sure to keep that moist, because the oh my gosh, what are words? The stringer hearts don't like to be dry. They don't like to be soaking wet, but they don't like to be dry. What I'm going to do with that tuber, I'm going to put that straight in like that. Because it is so big, I'm just going to surround it with this sphagnum moss. And the good thing is that should throw more more plant very soon. And I'm just going to wrap that piece that came out or came off that in that sphagnum moss as well. I'm going to poke those two little potatoes in. And what I may end up doing, I'm not too sure yet, is I'll wait for each of these little node sections to actually sprout roots, and then I'll actually cut between each section. That'll allow for me to maximize growth from this single plant. Yeah. All right, so that's that. I may actually need a tiny bit more sphagnum moss. So that's that done. As you can see, it's just sitting just in the top there. You can sort of see the roots just around there. Yeah. And what I'm going to do, I have a spray bottle here. Mix that up quickly. In that spray bottle, I have my Growth Technology Foliage Focus, which helps with the leaf growth and producing a healthy plant and healthy foliage. But in it, I also have some GT or Growth Technology Root Zone. So the Root Zone has been formulated to support with healthy root growth for propagating and things like that. There is also the CCS solution that I normally use. I haven't put that in here because I'm using the Root Zone in here, and I don't want to sort of cross the two. Yeah. All right. What I'll do, the problem is the string of hearts, they're so intertwined that I just have to take it easy and take it slowly. Otherwise, I'm going to end up with a ton of tiny plants and not enough of what I actually want, which is a healthy plant. Just went to get my grow pots, because what I'm thinking I'm going to do as well, I may actually pot some of this up into larger pots. These are just 100ml grow pots from, I purchased these at Bunnings. I always take the sticker off. I don't know why. I think because I just like to have a beautiful clear pot. The thing I love about these clear pots is that you can see the roots. So that sort of makes me feel a bit easier, to be honest with you. And in this one, I'm just going to put the perlite coco peat mix, just because I'm thinking that's what I'm actually going to use in the long term. Look at this, I'm just dumping things up here. So I've got my coco peat perlite mix up here, my sphagnum moss there. All right, now, and here's Lilo. Hello. All right. Now. Oh, she's coming up to say hello. Lay down. Lay down. She can see herself on the TV. If you're wondering what she's actually looking at, it's herself. I think I found a cluster of tubers here. And I'm trying to sort of detangle all of them so that I can use them. But I'm not having much success. Sometimes just jiggling them I find helps. I'm going to bring this to here so I'm not leaning over that way. Oh, she's disappeared. She's gone off. She's over there looking outside. So yeah, that was Lilo, our puppy. Normally she goes into her pen while I'm filming. But today I I thought I'll leave her out. She comes in the video, she comes in the video. Well, she came in the video. But no, she's really good. She's just laid down and she'll probably go back to sleep. She was asleep just before, to be honest with you. Right, this has taken me a lot longer than I expected, so I'm going to fast forward quickly and I'll come back as soon as I've got this done. All right. So I'll see you guys soon. Alrighty, welcome back. So now, as you would have seen in that video just then, I have this massive long tuber with 1, 2, 3, 4 tubers on it. I have this one with an extensive root system, but it doesn't seem to have produced anything yet. These are still nice and solid, which is telling me they're still healthy. Then we have this one. This one has a cute little chain of or string of hearts on it. So that'll go. I'm going to put this pot here so you can see. I'm going to double check. Yep, perfect. All right, so what I'm going to do is I'm actually going to place that corm in, or that tuber in there. This one here, the big one, I'm going to wrap around, but I'm going to leave the end of that out. And then we have this cluster of tubers / corms, which what I want to do is, because I want everything facing one way on this plant, purely because I do want to make a macrame, I don't know what they actually call them. I think it's a plant, it's like a plant pod, I think they call it, a hanging pod. So I'm wanting to get, I'll either make one or I'll get one, or I'll buy one. I've just got to find somewhere that actually makes them and sells them. So I'm going to put all of that in there, like so. Let's see if we can pull out, just very quickly, another couple of long bits. So that's, of course it is. So what I'll do, snip that there, keep that out. Then I'm just going to, all the roots are is it's trying to throw a new plant. Because that's what they do essentially, these string of hearts. They throw out tubers on the main stem to try and create a new plant. So what I'll do now, because I do have a couple of sections that are just tubers, I guess you could say. So we'll actually cut them off. She's decided she's coming back to say hello. Because I want to give this the best opportunity I can to grow and thrive. So, all right, let's do this. So what I need now, I always put my pot inside of my growing medium box. I just find that works better for me. I just knocked a heart off. Also stops me getting the growing medium all over my house. So there's that. What I'll do too, I'll just get these little bits. I'll just press that soil down with those little bits in it. Because ideally these I'm providing it further opportunity to push out new growth. And as you may be seeing, some of the pieces I'm just pulling them out. I'm not worrying if I snap a stem, because there's plenty of stem in there. Don't forget to tap your pot. That's what I do. Tap the pot to make sure it's all secured. Don't stress if you've got some hearts on top and they get covered. That's fine. They'll work their way back to the light. All right, that's that. Now what I'm going to do, I've already put these in that spray bottle. So now I'm just going to get the spray bottle and I'm just going to mist the top of this soil just to get that growing medium, the growing compounds into the hearts. And what I'll do, I'll also do this. So I give the actual plant a drink as well. I'll put that over there, not there. Right, now, what I want to do is get a few more out. I'm actually not gonna do that last aroid one. I think 6 pots of this is enough. So I'm just gonna put that lid back on. Put that lid back on. So I keep all these mixes separate because I do have different plants that like different mixes. Like some of my plants, especially when I'm doing propagations, I will actually put in my sphagnum. Then when I'm growing full plants, I will place them into either an aroid or a perlite coco peat mix. So the perlite coco peat mix generally is for more of a moisture loving plant that's not going to go into shock or going to stress or get root rot severely quickly, being in a more water retentive soil. So I keep that for that. Yeah, now we have that done. We have our 6 pots. We have our large pot with our nice, doesn't look nice now, but eventually it's going to string down. It's going to be beautiful. We have our coco peat perlite blend. I will try and post updates on my Instagram, so go and head over and follow me on Instagram at the Botanic Jungle. And yeah, I'll put updates and things like that on there. I have my sphagnum moss mix, and then I have a single aroid mix. So yeah, there we have it. 3 different methods for potting and propagating your chain of hearts, using both coco peat perlite mix, sphagnum moss, and aroid mix. You choose the one that works for you, honestly. I'm just doing this to see which one proves to be more beneficial to the plant. And yeah, I welcome you to tag me in posts on social media. My name is the same on Instagram and Facebook, The Botanic Jungle, and on YouTube. Don't forget to like and subscribe to this video and my channel. My plan is to hopefully upload a video once a week, if not once a fortnight. Yeah, and I just want to thank you for watching the video and for staying all the way to the end, because it's been a long one. And yeah, Thanks again. I hope to see you in the next one.